Alright, what is up YouTube? Today we're going to do a Q&A video. I posted on some of my social medias asking for some questions for a Q&A video. I think I've got like maybe 11 or 12, give or take, I don't really know, I didn't count them. We're just going to go over them right now. Alright, sorry about that, my battery just died. My first question was from my buddy Josh. And if you know me, it's a question about Wendy's. If you know me, you know I love Wendy's. He said, how much Wendy's have you eaten and what is your favorite Wendy's item? So that's a pretty easy question there. I've eaten a lot of Wendy's ever since I was a kid. I don't know what it is, but I've always loved Wendy's. Favorite item, I love their chicken nuggets. I used to get the $5 biggie bag with a junior bacon plain, but I think they've since changed it to the $4, $6, and $8 biggie bag. So I'll probably start getting the $6 one with the double stack plain with the Diet Coke. You gotta have Diet Coke. That's a pretty easy question there. Next one we got is from FL2 Tristan over on TikTok. He said, what was your first car that you wanted growing up? That one is kind of I won't say a difficult question, but growing up I was never really into cars. I never wanted a specific car growing up. I just wanted a car. I had I want to say a late start to life. I didn't get my license till I was probably about 18. And my mother's boyfriend at the time bought me my first car. It was a 2005 Suzuki Forenza. It had like 180,000 miles. I think he paid like $1,200 cash for it. And I had that car for probably about a year and a half. And then I upgraded to my last car, which was a Hyundai Veloster, which I'll get into a little bit later on. Growing up, I've always liked the Z's, like a 350Z. And to this day, I still want a 350Z if I could. I just want one that's clean, simple. I don't know what it is about those body styles. I've always loved them. Next question we got here is from Chris on TikTok. He said, what are your top 3 goals you'd like to achieve in 2026? So actually at the beginning of the year, I've set some goals. I didn't write them down, but I did set some goals. My biggest goal of the year was to quit drinking soda. If you know me, you know I drink a lot of soda, or I did. I was probably going through probably 8 cans of soda a day, if not more, depending on how much or how warm it was outside, how much I drank. I've since switched to diet soda only, which might not be better for you, but it's less calories, and I'm trying to work on getting just to water. I think once summer hits, I'll be able to fully convert over to water. But definitely that's one of my biggest goals. Another goal would be just be a little bit more debt-free. I have a lot of, I don't say a lot of debt. I don't have a lot of debt. My biggest debt is the car itself, but I have like some credit cards and a firm loan. My phone's still not paid off fully. So I want to pay off that and have more free money, I guess you say. It's not free, but you know what I mean. And for a third goal, we were really hoping to buy a house soon, but I don't think it's going to happen just yet. That was a big goal of mine. If I had to change that to a different goal. Overall, I just want to spend more time with friends and my wife, go to more car shows, make more connections, and just elevate myself more in life, more or less. Next question from Street Reformation. What was the hardest choice you had to make so far in your life? That's also a really great question. I probably have to think about that. The hardest choice I've had to make? To be honest with you, I've not really had a whole lot of crazy things happen in my life where I was like a big decision. One of the biggest things I've had to do was move and leave my family in North Carolina. And I moved over here to Tennessee to be with my now wife. That was a pretty big decision at the time, because I had to break my lease at my old apartment and move over here. I'll have to say that's probably the biggest thing. That and just yeah, I guess just that. I don't know. I'll come back to it if I can think of something else. I got another question here from Crafted over on TikTok. He said, what is your dream build? So going back to what I was saying earlier about the Z, my dream build honestly would be like a bagged 350Z that's just super simple, you know, with some like chrome dish wheels, bag like I just said, probably have some clean wrap on it. Have an interior that's fully done. That's really all it is, man. I like everything clean and simple. I don't like anything's overdone. Definitely not putting a wing on it, I can tell you that. And if you know me, you know I hate wings. Dream build is probably that. I'm not much of a supercar guy. I'm not big into Lamborghinis, Ferraris, things like that. I'd love to have some sort of right-hand drive car. I don't really know much about them. Cheyenne over on TikTok said, where do you see yourself in 20 years? Let's see, so I'm turning 25 this year, actually next weekend. So that'll put me at 45 years old. Hoping by 45, me and my wife will definitely have our own house. Hoping to have maybe 2 or 3 kids. I want a daughter. Me and her both want a daughter, at least. And have maybe 1 or 2 dogs. Just be financially stable. I just want to be able to go out to eat somewhere and not have to worry, like, you know, can I get this? Is it in my budget? Or go to the grocery store and be like, hey, can I buy this? Or do I not have the money for it right now? That's kind of how I just want to be in life in general. And hopefully by the time I'm 45, I'll be at that point. Now I've got some silly questions here from Skeleton Tongue over on TikTok said, how many licks does it take? I don't know what we're talking about here. But I'm going to say about 49. Austin said, does it touch the toilet water? Again, I don't know what you're referring to, but yes. Another question here from TikTok from Tyler said, what made you start liking and getting into cars? So I had that Suzuki Forenza, and then my mom's boyfriend also got me this little Chrysler 300 that had the V8 Hemi in it. It had some electrical issues. I didn't have it for very long. Once I started driving that car, it was much faster compared to the little 4-cylinder Forenza I had. And I think since I had that car, I was like, wow, this is such a big difference. You know, I need something like this. The shit hit the fan. That car did not work out whatsoever. I ended up getting rid of it, and I got into a Hyundai Veloster, which was my last car. If you've known me for a while, you know I had that little red Veloster. I never had any intentions on modifying it whatsoever. I just loved it. It was a 3-door car. It was different. So I'm pretty sure I just saw one, I don't know if it was on TikTok or on the road or what, but I saw a modified Hyundai Veloster and I was like, wow, that thing is sick. Ever since then, I just fell face first into it. I started off plasti dipping my wheels. I did black plasti dip, did a white plasti dip, and I did like lowering springs. Then I had somebody send me a little lip kit for it. And it's been a snowball effect. I get a lot of inspiration from cars online. They say comparison is the thief of joy or something like that. It's very true because I look at my car, and yeah, my car is really cool to some people. And I put a little bit of work into it and whatnot. But I see these other cars, I'm like, dang, I want to be there one day. My WRX, I mean, of course, it can always look better. I'm always wanting to do better with it. I want somebody to see it and be like, dang, I hope my car looks like his one day. Because I've done that to a lot of other cars. Especially when I first got this car and I saw WRXs on TikTok. I have screenshots still in my phone that I took when I first bought this car. And I was like, damn, I want my car to look like his one day. So it really all started with that one Chrysler 300, I guess you could say. Ethan said, what makes you the way that you are? I don't really know how to answer that. But I mean, realistically, just growing up, I didn't have a whole lot. My parents, battled addiction growing up. I feel like that's a story that a lot of people have. Luckily, I never fell into it, never got addicted to drugs or alcohol. When I was a teenager, though, I would say I had a gaming addiction, I guess you'd call it that. I would play video games like 12 hours a day on school nights, on the weekends. I was up 16 hours playing games. If I left the house to do anything, like I would be in a bad mood because I wasn't at home playing games. I don't know if that was just depression or addiction or what. I still play games to this day, sometimes. And I don't know, I feel like me just seeing what happened or reflecting on what happened growing up makes me want to make sure that I don't go down that path and that my future kids don't go down that path. And it's been a long process of getting to where I am today, and we're still not even close to being where I want to be. Cody had 2 questions for me. First one, how do you learn to do everything to your car, and what you know so far? Is it from past experience and failure, or is it still your first time? So my last car was my first car I ever modified. I did coilovers and lowering springs on it, and of course I had those wheels, and that was about it. I learned everything through YouTube, to be completely honest with you. I've never taken a car to a shop for anything other than just like maybe like an alignment or put some tires on the wheels. Other than that, I've done everything myself with the help of a friend or something. I've had several friends that have helped me with a lot of things on the car, which I'm very, very grateful for. So everything I've done is self-taught. It's first time for everything. If I go look up how how to do, like on the back of the car, there's a little air thing that controls the air-fuel ratio. I think it's gotten clogged up because I have a code for it. And I had no idea where to even start with that code, and I looked it up on YouTube, found out where it's at. I got to order the piece, and I'll be replacing it. Just first time doing it, learning from YouTube. And I mean, honestly, I enjoy it. Now that I'm in a garage, I actually enjoy working on the car a little bit. Second question here from Cody. How hard was it to settle down with your girlfriend or wife, and what was it like with the setting change? Was it a lot at once, and how hard was it to get everything furnished? And he's thinking about getting a house with him and his girlfriend, or possibly an apartment. So honestly, it's kind of I'll say that's not a crazy story by any means, but I was living in North Carolina at the time. It's about 2 hours from here. And I met my now wife on Tinder, actually. We met up on Tinder. I drove over here 2 hours on a weekend to just hang out with her and meet her for the first time in person. Ever since then, it kind of kicked off. I was living with my mom and her boyfriend at the time, same one that bought me my first car. And Holly, which is my wife's name, Holly came over and visited after I drove over here a few times, and she trusted me. She would come and spend the weekends with me. Eventually, she just kind of started staying with me full time. Although she's in college, or she was in college, and she still is in college. She was in college at the time doing online classes. Eventually, my mom and her boyfriend at that time split up, which caused me and Holly to move out. So I ended up getting my own apartment, and Holly was living with me full time pretty much, although she still had to come over to Tennessee sometimes. And then from there, we were in that apartment for, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months maybe. And she was ready to move over here, back home. And I, at the time, I don't want to say I'm not close with my family, but I'm not super close. I still suck leaving them because I have a little brother and my mom and dad and stuff, my older brothers. I told her my only stipulation for me to move over here with her would be for her to find me a job. And that's exactly what she did. She went online, she emailed a bunch of places, and got me a job. I drove over here for, I think, 3 weekends in a row while still living in North Carolina, and I worked at this job on the weekends just to make sure it was a good fit for me, because it was a big jump. If I up and leave everything in North Carolina and I move over here and I end up not liking this job, or I don't work out at this job, what am I going to do? I'm going to have no money. I'd have somewhere to stay, but I would have no money, and you know how that goes. It was a big change for sure. Change for the better, I'd say. I had a decent job back in North Carolina. I was doing detailing for a local car lot. I loved that place. It was great people that worked there, very understanding. But I always tell people, the biggest changes in your life might be the best changes in your life. If you leave it up to me, I could move across the country next week and not look back, as long as I had a job and some stability. I'm not afraid of up and changing everything if it's for the better. I saw potential moving over here, and that's exactly how it happened. Alright, next question here is from Tino over on TikTok. He says, where is your tilt? I'll have you know that I've got about 4 degrees of tilt. No, I'm just playing. I do actually have 4 degrees, but I do want to put some tilt on this thing. I'm not gonna lie, I want probably like -10, -12 all the way around. I would love to have a daily before I do that, just because this is my daily. And I put like anywhere from 14 to 16,000 miles a year on the car. So, I mean, you could definitely do it as a daily. I wouldn't want to, but I definitely could. I'm hoping that by the end of the year or early next year I can get a daily and maybe do that. I just gotta buy the control arms. It's like $1,600 I think altogether, which isn't crazy, but that's just money. It's just all about money. It all comes down to money. At the end of the day, this whole world revolves around money. Let's be real. Last question here is from Jay on TikTok. Out of every car, what made you choose the Subi? No hate on it. I love the car. So that's actually a really good question. So I traded in my Hyundai Veloster because I was burning through a little over a quart of oil a week, and I just felt like it was going to blow up. So I was wanting to get rid of it before it blew up, and I was stranded with no car. So I went to trade in. My only stipulation for getting a new car was that I wanted it to be manual. I didn't care what it was. I just wanted a manual car. I looked at a few other cars before I got this. I looked at an EcoBoost Mustang, a 350Z, a Civic Si. I think it looked like a Dodge Dart that was manual maybe. I don't know. I looked at several cars, and the mileage and price and just the look of it just didn't work out. Then I saw this WRX. And at the time I knew nothing about them. I didn't even know they were boosted. I thought just the STIs were boosted. And I took my friend CJ with me, and we went over this car lot, and he actually test drove it with me in the car because I couldn't drive manual at the time. We hit about 120 on the highway, and ever since then I loved it. I drove it home not knowing what I was doing, although I had like maybe driven a manual car twice, which was CJ's Altima. Shout out to him. Ever since then, I just kind of fell in love with it. I absolutely love this car. It's like the perfect mix between not slow, but not fast, if you know what I'm saying. Obviously, there's cars out there that are going to smoke the shit out of this car, which is perfectly fine because I'm not a fast driver and this car is not built to be fast. I would hope that when you see this car on the road, you don't think it's a fast car. Although everyone does because they rev at me and try to race me a lot. But overall, I just want my future to be better than my past. So I wake up every day trying to do better and just keep pushing forward. As long as you're not going backwards, I feel like you're going the right way. Even just making this video, like me talking to a camera like this, I would have never done this a year ago probably. And I encourage everyone that wants to do videos, just get out and do it. The best thing to do is just practice. And other than that, that's all the questions I got for today. And I'll catch you on the next video.